this time, it is my great privilege and pleasure to announce our guest speaker, Reverend Raymont Anderson. Reverend Ray is the pure definition of a wise, transformative, and honest man. He effortlessly enables those around him to express themselves in a more full and honest way so they can recognize, realize, and materialize their divine potential. And I took my foundations class with Reverend Ray, and I honestly learned a lot about myself and the world around me. And not only because he is a great teacher, but he also taught me that, yes, even laundry can be a spiritual practice. And I believe that would be impossible if it wasn't for him. So please join me in giving Reverend Raymont Anderson a very warm welcome.
I don't even know what to say. Jay, you know what? Wait till I see you next time. Oh, thank you. Oh, man, look. Okay. Breathe, Ray, breathe. You have a message to deliver. So let's start off with laundry. Greetings, my dear Celebration Center family. Happy birthday, Reverend Faith, if you are there or wherever you are. I pray that you are celebrating. Once again, it is a joy and a pleasure and an honor to be with you all. Once again, as always, today we are diving into this idea of love's ascending, but we're going to do so via some practical ways to cultivate and nurture what it means to have love or experience love in our daily lives. If I were to ask you a few questions such as, what does love feel like? Do you have an answer? If I were to ask, is love something that we can give? Is love something we can get? Like I can give you a bottle of lotion or you can give me can we give love? Can we receive love in that kind of a way? What does the absence of love feel like? Are we able to identify its absence? In the same way that we can identify the absence of, apples in the refrigerator. Yesterday there were 12. Tracy got greedy. Today there are 0. I can identify the absence of. Can we identify the absence of love? So I'm going to stop with the questions right there as if you are willing, I want to jump right in with shifting some paradigmical kinds of things. So I'm going to share part of a reading from the Science of Mind magazine from Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. The title of the article, Bold Love. Love is not an emotion. It's a promise. Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi, Ernest Holmes says, life is not only where we are, it is what we are. It is in as well as all around us, and its whole impulsion is love. The universe does not rest on the shoulders of love. Love is the real lodestone of life. The article goes on to say, the Greeks have many words to identify varying expressions of love, from agape, which is unconditional love, to mania, which is obsessive love. We sometimes oversimplify love to the point where, in many ways, we forget what it actually is, and more importantly, what it can be when we embody and express it authentically and boldly. Love is God. God is love. All that is true of God must be true of love. Dr. Holmes says, whatever is true of God is true of you. Well, then that means whatever is true of love is true of you. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to leave the rest of the article for you to explore and read if you choose to. But if we're talking about God is love, love is God, and God is all there is, then where is there for us to ascend? Now, in this relative space of, yes, we can talk about to ascend, which means to rise up, to go up, to climb up. So the sanctuary where you are sitting, for those who are there in person, it's not on the first floor. And even if it weren't on the first floor, even if it were on the first floor, you have to step up onto the curb, onto the sidewalk to go into the building. And there's a slight incline, which is also to ascend in order to reach the elevator, which on the second floor, you are ascending to the. We understand it when it comes to the realm of physicality. But if I ask you, in your mind's eye, envision a tree. And in the tree, envision a tree house. See yourself climbing up the tree and into the tree house. And without me telling you what's in the tree house, look around and see what's inside the tree house. And now come back out and climb back down and re-enter this space where we are having this conversation. Where did you go? Both the tree house, and the stuff in the tree house all existed within your mind. There is only one mind, and that mind is God. It existed within that space. There is nowhere to go, even though we envision the ascending, the looking around, because it all happens in the space of the absolute, where it simply is. There really isn't anywhere to go. And so what I'm pushing us into is the idea that because God is all there is, it's exactly what you are in full right now. All of love, all of wisdom, all of creativity, right where you are right now. So even when we are experiencing challenges or frustrations, etc., the absolute truth of our being simply is. So we use the terms like ascend or ascent for linguistic convenience. But what we're really talking about is this idea that says living fully in our and as our divine magnificence, living fully means to love in a full expressive manner as who you are, what you are right now. Because when we embody this, when we are being it, the being will inform the doing. Have you ever heard the phrase, actions speak louder than words? So if I say I love you versus I show you that I love you, actions speak louder than words. Many people say it. Many people will say, but their actions. If you want to know someone's mind, listen to their words. But if you want to know their heart, watch their actions. And then from the Bible we have, you can identify them by the fruit. That is, identify them by the way that they act, by the way they behave. Are we acting and behaving as though we understand who and what we are as divine incarnations of love? Are we acting and behaving in ways that demonstrate that we are that which is the infinite, living, moving, and having its beingness in, through, and as us? And granted, because we are experiencing the both and, we are experiencing the space of duality while being in and as the one, it's part of the experience. It's a both and. Even with the both and, are we still anchored and grounded in the truth of our being? So yes, feel frustrated and then come back to the truth. Come back to principle. Remember, remind yourself, just like when, that scared me. A deer ran across in front of right through the living room. Oh man, I don't know why a deer ran through my living room, but nonetheless, oh, for the sake, Ray, breathe. And I reclaim my breath. The fear caused me to change my breathing. And then I reclaim it. My breath didn't stop. I'm still breathing. I'm breathing as someone who is afraid, as someone who is angry. But then I have the opportunity to come back to the truth, reclaim my breath, reclaim my knowing, and then move from there. Are we living as though we know this? Brene Brown says, we cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable and powerful selves to be deeply seen and known. And when we honor the spiritual connection that grows from offering with trust, respect, kindness, and affection. Love is not something we give or get. It is something that we nurture, something that we grow. It is a connection that can only be cultivated between people when it exists within each one of them. This is why that phrase from Jerry Maguire many years ago, "You complete me," is total and utter. No one completes us. We are already whole, perfect, and complete right now. No matter the addiction, no matter the doctor, the diagnosis, no matter the financial situation, no matter any of that, we are whole, perfect, and complete. It is impossible for God to be anything other than whole, perfect, and complete. We believe that heaven is within and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We will experience love to the degree that we become conscious of it as the truth of our being. Are we conscious of it? Are we living as though we are conscious of it? As Brene Brown said, when it exists within each one of us, we can only love others as much as we love ourselves. Do you love yourself? And I mean, do you, if let me pause for a second. You might, if you got pearls, you might want to clutch your pearls for a second, because let us imagine for a moment that world peace depended upon how much you love you. Do you have enough love for and of yourself that it would eradicate war? That it would completely remove all forms of oppression? Do you love yourself so much? You know that song, I love myself so much so that I can love you so much, so that you can love you so much, and then you can start loving me. Imagine, I love myself so much so that the world can love itself so much, and that as it loves itself so much, a world that works for all is the result. Do you love yourself that much? Brene Brown goes on to say, shame, blame, disrespect, betrayal, and the withholding of affection damage the roots from which love grows. And in reference to what we're saying, God is all there is, what we're doing is we are pushing that idea further away from us. We are separating the idea. Well, God's over there. or somewhere, but God clearly can't be here where I am because I know how bad I am. I know what kind of stuff I've done in my life. I know how imperfect I am. So clearly that which is the divine cannot be where I am. But it is. So this whole idea of shame, blame, disrespect, betrayal, what it does is it doesn't get rid of electricity. It causes you to turn the dimmer switch down and to sit in the dark, knowing full well electricity still exists. You still have access to the light, but you're choosing, for a variety of reasons, you're choosing to turn the light down and focus on, I've got so much to be ashamed of. I blame myself every day. Wait, because we're conditioned to do so. So if we're going to talk about this idea of love ascending, it is the idea that says, let me get real, let me get honest about all of this. Shame, blame, disrespect, betrayal of myself. I can make a mistake and I can apologize. I can, because it's going to happen. Covert, implicit biases, things are going to happen. We say things that are sexist or racist, or we say them because they are so much a part of our system. But when we realize it, when we recognize it, what do? Do we allow it to sink into, oh, woe is me, I should have known better, for I am a practitioner. I am supposed to know the truth, the whole truth, and only that which is true. Or do we say, made a mistake. 2 plus 2 isn't 7. Erase it. Start again. You know what, Jay? I'm sorry. I didn't realize you didn't want bleach. Yeah. All the reds and stuff it's all pink now. But it's cool because men can wear pink now. But your red sweater, all of it is. Apologize and move on. I'll get you a new, I got you. I'm gonna write you a check, get you a new wardrobe. I got you covered, bro. And start again. Love gives us the ability to start fresh every day. That's what it means to cultivate it. In the same way that we sow seeds into the ground. Tracy's growing a garden, a vegetable garden in the backyard. That is what it means to cultivate. You plant the seeds. You watch it grow. You tend to it. You take care of it. You water it. You freshly soil it. Are we doing that with our relationships? Do we sow seeds of compassion and caring and nurturing? Do we check in on it every now and then to make sure it's growing and blooming? Or do we completely ignore it and walk away and the relationship is starting to wilt? And then we come back and we're like, Lynn, what's wrong? Lynn, you walked away and you didn't nurture and build the relationship. I apologize. I will be a better friend, a better brother, and better simply meaning I will do what is mine to do to cultivate our bond. Are we doing that with our relationships, including those with strangers? Whatever grocery store you shop at, do you cultivate a world that works for all with complete and absolute strangers? But Ray, how can I do that if they're strangers? Do you look people in the eye? Do you say good morning? Do you say hello? And do you do this from a place of, I see God in and as them? Do you do that when you're watching the news and you hear about some new executive order or whatever it may be? Are you sowing seeds of a world that works for all? Are you cultivating that by knowing who and what you are? Breathe. So once again, living fully. Are you living fully? To live fully, to live your best and highest expression of your divine means to love fully. How are you embodying what love means, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it tastes like? How are you doing that? Not in a silo, but in an open and expressive way that changes and transforms the world. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us into this place where he says, to love is to recognize. To be loved is to be recognized by the other. Remember what I said? You're in the store, grocery, supermarket, stranger. I recognize them. They are a divine incarnation of God. Good morning. Maybe it's just a head nod, but it's recognition. When there's someone who is unhoused, don't avert the eyes. And even if because sometimes it's a safety thing, acknowledge they too are an expression of God and bless them as you cross the street for your own safety, if that's what it is. But don't simply, ew, they should pull themselves up by their own. The law of attraction says, so breathe and allow your space to enter, allow your mind to enter, allow your heart to enter, allow all that you are to enter into. What does it look like? What does it feel like for you to embody the ability to recognize and affirm? There's a phrase in Sanskrit, aham brahmasmi. I am Brahma, in essence. I am Brahman. I am universe. I am the absolute. I am divine. I am infinite consciousness. It is, and I am it. If it is, and I am it, then how am I living, moving, and having my beingness as it? One last thing. I don't want to give a spoiler, but Superman, the recent movie, there's a scene where Clark Kent says, or Superman says, I am as human as anyone. I love, I get scared. I wake up every morning and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other. And I try to make the best choices I can. I mess up all the time, but that's what it means to be human. And that's my greatest strength. That's our greatest strength, to be human, to be this divine expression of all that God is, knowing that what is true of all of creation is true of you right now. So breathe and simply settle in to the realization that that which it is, you are. That the way you show up in the world is prayer. The way you shop is prayer. As Jay said, the way you do laundry is prayer. Your hands, your body, God's hands, God's body, the body of the universe. Washing dishes, which also are the universe, which is a symbolic way of saying, when I see dirt, when I see that which is to be discarded, I clean it in the same way that I clean my mind of that which needs to be discarded. I agitate the water so that the clothing, this body, this that adorns me may be clean as I re-enter into the world to do what is mine to do, to create and manifest a world that works for all. Ivor working on sound, prayer. Lynn playing guitar, prayer. All angles singing, prayer. Terry figuring out finances for the board, prayer. All of it, prayer. Your life is your amen. Breathe. And so it is. Sorry about the sound glitch.